ang naiiwan sa US Senate tuwing mag-ieleksyon ay 67 senators, enough to constitute a quorum out of 100 senators and enough to convict or acquit. Sa atin po, 12 lang. Not enough to have a quorum of 13, more so a number of 16 to convict or acquit. But be that as it may, Mr. President, we have all the discussions done, and I think this would really be part not just of the discussions that whatever case would be elevated to the Supreme Court would eventually be decided in the near term. Mr. President, I seek a minute suspension, Mr. President. On second reading of House Bill number 7500, this is the bill on the aquaculture feed mill plant in Panay, Capiz. I believe that it is in the best of our interest to take an opportunity to refine the provisions of this bill in the period of amendment. So I move, Mr. President, that we recognize, as we open the period of amendments, the sponsor, Senator Cynthia Villar.
Any objection to the reconsideration of the earlier approval of House Bill number 7500? Hearing none, motion is approved. Any objection to the opening of the period of amendments? Hearing none, motion is approved. Senator Villar is recognized to propound amendments to the aforementioned bill. You may proceed, ma'am.
Mr. President, additional omnibus amendment, House Bill number 7500, or the aquaculture feed mill plant of the province of Capiz. Mr. President, on the earlier approved on second reading clean copy of House Bill number 7500, we further propose an omnibus amendment to replace the phrase Municipality of Panay with the phrase Province of Capiz. This omnibus amendment will affect line 10, 20, and 24 on page 1 and line 17 on page 2 of the clean copy. That's all, Mr. President. Thank you.
Any objection to the proposed amendment? Hearing none, amendment is approved. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. President, there being no other additional amendments, I move to close the period of amendments.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Mr. President, I move that we approve on second reading House Bill number 7500. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, House Bill number 7500 is approved on second reading. Majority Floor Leader.
I move that we suspend consideration House Bill number 7500.
Any objection? Hearing none, consideration of the aforementioned bill is now suspended.
Mr. President, I move that we resume consideration of Senate Bill number 2821 under Committee Report number 320. This is the bill on the Accelerated and Reform Right-of-Way Act. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
The parliamentary status of the bill is that we have approved the amendment by substitution on January 20, 2025 without prejudice to the members asking questions on the measure. With that, I move to recognize the sponsor, Senator Mark Villar, and to propound questions, Senator, our Minority Leader, Senator Aquilino Comitel.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved. Senator Villar is recognized, I understand, to propound additional amendments or
we're open to interpolations at this point from.
Mr. President, I withdraw my previous motion. Instead, I move that we proceed to the reference of business.
any objection? Hearing none. Uy, sino magbabasa? Motion is approved. Senate Secretary is directed to take up the reference of business.
Bills on first reading. Senate Bill number 2988, an act prescribing additional requirements for labeling and packaging fruit and vegetable juices, amending for the purpose Articles 4 and 84 of RA number 7394 as amendment, otherwise known as the Consumer Act of the Philippines by Senate President Escudero.
To the Committees on Health and Demography, Trade and Commerce, and Entrepreneurship.
Senate Bill number 2989, an act regulating children's use of social media towards promoting their safety, well-being, and responsible digital use by Senator Padilla.
To the Committees on Public Information and Mass Media and Science and Technology.
Senate number 2990, increasing the bed capacity at Overseas Filipino Workers Hospital from 50 beds to 100 beds, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Go.
To the Committees on Health, Demography, and Finance.
2991, providing for a new visa category for digital nomads. appropriating funds therefore, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committees on Justice and Human Rights, Ways and Means, and Finance.
2992, creating an additional legislative district in the province of Cebu to be known as the 8th Legislative District, Senator Marcos.
To the Committee on Rules.
2993, establishing a campus of the Cebu Normal University in Argao, Cebu, to be known as the Cebu Normal University Argao Campus and appropriating funds therefore.
The Committee on Higher Technical Vocational Education and Finance.
299.
Senate Bill number 2994, an act strengthening the Philippine shoe industry, providing incentives to local manufacturers and for other purposes by Senator Pimentel III.
The Committees on Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship, Ways and Means, and Finance.
Senate Bill number 2995, an act creating the Talampas ng Pilipinas Oil Corporation, defining its powers and functions and providing funds therefore and for other purposes by Senator Tolentino.
To the Committees on Government Corporations and Public Enterprise and Finance.
Senate Bill number 2996, an act creating the Talampas ng Pilipinas Development Authority, defining its powers and functions, providing funds therefore and for other purposes by Senator Tolentino.
The Committees on Government Corporations and Public Enterprise and Finance.
Senate Bill number 2997, an act recognizing the city of Marikina as the shoe capital of the Philippines by Senator Pimentel III.
To the Committee on Tourism.
Senate Bill number 2998, an act establishing a special economic zone in the province of Bohol, creating for that purpose the Northern Bohol Special Economic Zone Authority, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes by Senator Marcos.
The Committees on Economic Affairs, Local Government, Ways and Means, and Finance.
Resolutions. PSR number 1313, resolution commending and congratulating Dia Mate for winning the 2025 Reina Hispano-Americana pageant held in Santa Cruz, Bolivia on February 10, 2025 by Senator Estrada.
The Committee on Rules.
PSR number 1314, resolution commending and congratulating the Philippine men's curling team composed of Mark Angelo Pfister, Enrico Gabriel Pfister, Alan Beat Frey, Christian Patrick Haller, and Benjo de la Marte for winning the country's first ever gold medal in the Asian Winter Games held in Harbin, People's Republic of China from 7 to 14 February 2025 by Senator Estrada.
The Committee on Rules.
Resolution number 1315, congratulating and commending the Philippine team for winning the gold medal in the men's curling event on the 2025 Asian Winter Games, making history for claiming the country's first ever podium finish in the international multi-sport event by Senator Villanueva.
To the Committee on Rules.
Resolution number 1316, directing the Senate Committee on Basic Education to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation on the reported ghost students in the senior high school voucher program of the Department of Education by Senator Estrada.
The Committee on Basic Education.
Resolution number 1317, directing the appropriate Senate Committee to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation on the reported proliferation of love scams with the end in view of reevaluating and strengthening the policy banning Philippine offshore gaming operations and reassessing the policy on the use of cryptocurrency and the effectiveness of RA number 10175 and other related laws and policies by Senator Gatchalian.
The Committees on Banks, Financial Institutions, and Currencies.
Resolution number 1318, directing the appropriate Senate Committee to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation on the tax leakages as a result of the continued smuggling of high-end luxury vehicles by Senator Gatchalian.
To the Committee on Ways and Means.
Resolution number 1319, directing the appropriate Senate Committee to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation into the recurring incidents of collapsing bridges in the Philippines to seek accountability from all responsible public officials, contractors, and other parties involved, and to assess the adequacy of current infrastructure policies with any view of ensuring the safety and reliability of bridge structures nationwide by Senator Pimentel III.
The Committee on Accountability of Public Officers and Investigations.
Resolution number 1320, commending and congratulating multi-awarded Filipina film and television actress Judy Ann Santos Agoncillo for winning the Best Actress trophy from the 45th Pantos Porto Film Festival in Porto, Portugal, Senator Estrada.
The Committee on Rules.
Resolution number 1321, directing the appropriate Senate Committee to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation on the necessity and propriety of imposing a local content requirement for locally assembled vehicles and providing tax incentives for local automotive parts manufacturers with any view of crafting a legislation or policy recommendation as may be necessary by Senator Gatchalian.